So we come to our third pillar in our 5 pillars of success mastery, and this is time mastery. And it's specifically not called time management because it's time itself that we need to master. We're taught often, I've been in so many time management schemes in my old kind of banking days to plan and schedule and delegate and optimize, but true breakthroughs, true success breakthroughs are not found in calendars, they're found in consciousness. And this is where we're going to chisel into in our third pillar, because time is not a line, it's a loop. And time can become a trap, time can become a portal, but time unquestionably is a secret of the soul, and certainly in the journey of success mastery, it's a very, very important one, as we're about to see. So to dig into this, of course, we turn to the Zohar. And the Zohar talks about something which again is mind-bending. And I'll read you the quote. It says this, it says, we have 3 brains. I'm not sure if you knew that. Most of us thought we have 1 brain. We have 3 brains. One brain is called memory. Our second brain is called thought. And our third brain is called imagination. We have 3 brains, memory, thought, and imagination. Only when imagination and memory ascend from the heart will true thought descend and be welcomed by the heart. Now, what does that mean? What the Zohar is giving us is a mystical formula of time travel, of quantum breakthroughs, of literal success breakthroughs. Why? Because I think it's fair to say most people's lives, our egos have hijacked time. Why? Because our past is the memory that imprisons us out of the now. And the ego equally uses imagination to terrify us about our future. And as long as those two stay hijacked, so the memory of our past and the imagination of our future, as long as they're truly hijacked and we're immersed in the ego caught in those 2 worlds, then true thought, which means divine intelligence, cannot enter. So how do we get that dimensional genius, that success breakthrough, real breakthroughs? We get that when true thought descends into a vessel that's pure, devoid of memory and imagination, it seems, and connected. The question is, how do we get that? How do we get that pure, clean, elevated vessel, pure thoughts of the Creator to have dimensionally different thinking? Imagine, most of our thinking is quite linear. It's based on our past. It's imagination of our future. No. Imagine if you could think the thoughts of the Creator. How successful could you be? How much faster could you be successful? That's what time mastery means, to actually download the thoughts of the Creator and time travel with them. So how do you get into that zone? Again, this is really live workshop day stuff because it gets so deep and it gets so personal. But we'll give you a taste of one of the first forms, because again, there are 3 forms in this third pillar. The first form is the memory of the past. The second form is the imagination of the future. And the third form clearly is what we aspire to, which is the present. And how, if we clean our past and understand what future means, then our past blesses our future in the present. It all comes together. But that's something which we'll explain at a later time. Let's first of all focus on the first brain, what's called memory. Because all of us carry a bit of a juggernaut past with us. All of us have baggage, all of us. There's a very interesting story the Kabbalists ask. And it refers to a conversation between the Creator and Abraham. And let's see how you would answer this question that the Creator posed to Abraham. He asked, "Who are you?" Now, the answer that Abraham gave was 3 words. So if I ask you the same question, and your answer must be 3 words, right? Who are you? And your answer must only be 3 words. What would you say? Right, would you say, oh, my name is, well, that's already 3 words, but Marcus and something, would you talk about your job, your mission, your power, your talent, something particular about you? Maybe. What Abraham answered in his 3 words to the question, who are you, means the meaning of life. He says, ashes and earth. It's a very interesting answer. Ashes and earth. If I ask you, if I were to say, oh, by the way, you're just ashes and earth, you might take that as a veritable insult. You say your life and your value is basically denounced to soot and mud. That's what it kind of means, no? I denigrate you to the level of soot and mud, worthless, useless, and no. Abraham said, ashes and earth. What does it mean? Well, the Kabbalists explain. What is ashes? Ashes were something, perhaps something very significant. But they've been burnt now to nothing. They were something, possibly very interesting, significant, important, but now they're nothing. What is earth? It seems like just mud and soil. It seems like nothing, but no, earth. Well, earth can become anything. Earth can grow anything. Earth can grow an unlimited, an infinite future. Earth can grow anything to anything to become anything. Ashes had a past, has no future. Earth has no past, but has an infinite future. Meaning what the Kabbalists say, if you want the unlimited future of Earth, you have to make ashes of your past. If you want the infinite nature of an unlimited future, the only way you can do that is to make ashes of your past, to burn the entirety of your past. The everythingness that most of us want, it needs a vessel of nothingness. And unfortunately, most of us are attached to something. And somethingness denies everythingness. And there's another great Kabbalist called Rabbi Menachem Mendel Vitebsk. And he talks about this because he talks about the prison of the somethingness that all of us are in, because we're clinging to some past version of ourselves, some past identity of ourselves. Many of us have old money stories releasing us from the responsibility of our potential, living in this illusion of what we mediocrely created some time ago. Old identities. Old pain is a huge identity. Some people are determined to hate because it gives them identity. When they have an external enemy, they're excused. They think of an internal process. All of us have old victories, old identities. We have a past. We have a somethingness that we're holding on to. But nothing can be born into a field that refuses to be emptied. Nothing. So what this Kabbalist says is that a new reality can only emerge, a brand new reality, a revolution of your life can only emerge when you destroy, when you decimate your past. And the analogy he gives is a tree. Imagine the form of a tree in this extraordinary existence. The only way that extraordinary existence of a tree can exist is when it decimated the seed of its previous form. That seed, it has to dissolve into the soil before it can sprout. We have to dissolve our old selves before that tree of dimensional success can rise. And the issue is, if we're not doing that kind of deep spiritual work, then we're stuck in what we call Groundhog Day syndrome. Right? What's Groundhog Day syndrome? Most people naturally think they're chasing a future. They have certain goals that they aspire to, and they're pushing and shoving and begging and praying to arrive and achieve externally into their future. But the truth is, that's not what happens spiritually. That truth is normally a person repeating and playing in the past's disguise as the future. Meaning what? Most of us think that, as we said, time is a line, and therefore future is tomorrow, present is midpoint, and past is yesterday. And so tomorrow I'll meet my future. That's not what happens spiritually. That's not what happens. Because if we're not doing this kind of deep spiritual work, we're stuck in the timeline where I think tomorrow is filled with my future, whereas it is not. It is filled with your past replaying inside your tomorrow under the guise of what looks and feels like a future, but it's just financial frustration, success frustration, groundhog days of repeating pasts. So to break through, you have to become quantum. You have to become quantum. What's quantum? It means you're transcendent of the memory of past, of the imagination of future. You have to become earth. You have to clear the vessel completely. This isn't just nice words and gung-ho and you got this and you can do it. It's not positive thinking. This is spiritual demolition. There are certain times in the success pathway of genuine achievers. It's not just nice back chat, pats on the back. It's spiritual demolition. It's spiritual demolition. It's not about just improving your old self. It is the phrase, being the best version of me. It's not about being a better version of you. It's about burying you. Burying your past. So something entirely new, unrecognizable can be reborn into it. Because what we think is us is not us. It's just a plus 10% version of what wasn't perfect anyway. So this is the breakthrough path. And again, this is deep work. And when you live workshop this stuff, it's painfully good. Why painfully? Because it's often very tearful. We don't often realize what we're truly attached to in terms of fear, insecurity, in terms of past attachment. But we all are. We all are. And so at least part of your next financial level, your next success mastery level is not in just another strategy. It lives, it conceals itself in the hidden shadows of your unresolved time. You know, a lot of the riches of our real success, they lie beneath all that unreleased past. And so if you want to access dimensional success, you have to travel back. You have to uproot. And that's why sometimes we hit walls. It's not because we're negative or we're doing something tactically awful. It means the universe is saying you've left too many sparks behind you. You're doing great. You are great. You're destined for extraordinary things. But your future, the one that you aspire to, the one that you dream about, the one you pray for, the one you're talking to me about, that future, the magnitude of that future, it needs a few sparks that you've left beneath you. So this wall is going to push you back down to retrieve some of those sparks. And once you rise again, that dimensionally greater version of you is a dimensionally different level of success. And this work is deep. This is why I'm saying we're not going to do it on video. We need to do it in person. It's too vast for one class, right? That's why we do these workshops all around the world, because it's such a spiritual renewal. You don't just shift the mindset. You're burning your timeline. You're burning an old timeline that you thought was you, and you're becoming a vessel, an unrecognizable vessel for quantum success. This is the third pillar of time mastery. It's the science of time travel and genuine success breakthroughs.